But to me, it seems that even the things you're pointing to, like collective action, community, we talk about an epidemic of loneliness in the citizen story, or even just this move to more collective action. It seems to be an antidote for much of the ills or the trends of dissatisfaction that we're experiencing. I don't know your thoughts just on even the optimistic side of it rather than, let's say, even the sacrifice
Yeah,
of it, if you
totally. I mean,
like.
no, I love that. I think one of the things I sort of try and get across a lot is like, don't try and be a less bad, like there's, don't get me wrong, like it's important to not fly, eat less meat, all of that good stuff. Like I'm
Yeah,
not decrying individual behavior change, but a lot of that stuff, all of that stuff really is just in the frame of being a slightly less bad consumer. And it's like, what, like
yeah,
there's a very different thing about starting to sort of explore and discover agency as a citizen and finding the joy of that is so much more generative. Like, and one of my favorite it's a guy called Stephen Green, who uh, spent far too many years of his early life in the music scene in the US, and but Stephen now founded this wonderful organisation called Rockcore, and they've just done a big thing in France in the run up to the Olympics, and their model they talk about. So in France is tu reçois, tu reçus, or something like that, and so it's give, get, given is the English translation, and basically the way it works is they put on an enormous like big celeb name gig. Uh, 13,000 people audience, and the only way to get a ticket for the gig is to do 4 hours of community action. And so
amazing.
the really fascinating thing, and I won't get the data right, but it's something like this, like is like 90% of the people who do that have never done community action before, but 80% of them go on to do more after unrewarded. So and Stephen's got this lovely thing. He's like, he talks about citizenship as a muscle. It's a muscle you build,
Right.
not a cup you empty. And it's like citizenship is a muscle, man, and when you start to use it, you kind of like it. But it's a lovely image, right? And it's right. It's like, so, and I think in many ways, I think rockcore is probably, well, and because it's collective as well, and you meet these people and you form this bond and then you go to the gig together and and you're like that as a sort of environmental behavior change intervention, I think is multiple millions of times more effective than any one of those incremental changes, and so much more joyful. So it's like a lot of a lot of this work is like, how do we invite people to into those opportunities to just start experiencing that citizen muscle, because we all have it. It's just that in the context of a consumer story being 3,000 times a day plus plus plus, as you allude, I like the fact that you aged me a bit there. Like it's 2003, friends, 20 years ago. But like,
It's just the level of wisdom coming from you. It was
nice
more.
try, buddy. Nice try. But yeah, there's me praising myself as being 6 foot and athletic, and straight back in your box, says Mark. No, but like that thing of like, what is it to find the joy of using that muscle that will have atrophied because we have been surrounded by this constant lullaby or like this song back to sleep that we're consumers, and everyone else is as well. And this, coming back to my question, I think that's like the interaction between what would you do if you believed in yourself and in those around you is really deliberate, right? Like, and really rooted in that experience of working in the advertising industry, because what happened working in the advertising industry is that I lost belief in myself because I was losing belief in others. And to
Yeah.
reclaim those things has to be a kind of a relationship between the two at the same time, I think.